lies will be exposed.
Oh, even in 2026. Hey, everyone. So, look, I want to apologize to you guys. My first apology for 2026. Don't worry, I got another apology too. But, look, I don't know if I got re-sick again, but I need to do this show. But if I do cough, I thought I had this flu A beat. And later on, I'm going to get my lungs checked. But, everything's fine. Not dying, no fever, not weak, not any kind of thing like that. But, this has been a little bit of a gut check for me. And this is one of those things where it's got me a little concerned. And I had some friends and family say, hey, get checked again. So, on the 23rd of December of last year, for 4 days, I was literally paralyzed because of just how sick I was. So if I cough, please don't get offended. Okay. Because I'm going to be reading a story and a cough might happen. So there you go. So hope everyone had a very good and productive new year, or had a great, safe New Year's Eve. I know I did. And I just also hope that all of you start this new year, the year of the horse, 2026. That's right. The year of the snake is over. The year of the horse is here. And let's giddy on up to the future for new things, big events, positive change, and hope. And that's what I'm hoping for this year, especially for me. Really want all the troubles gone. So praying, hoping, just want this all stuff done and go on to living a very beautiful life. That's what I want. So, and I hope all of you are living that beautiful life too. So let's see. Oh, Lady Alex, hello, nurse. I need you to be my nurse. There you go. But good to see all of you here. Let's see. Wendy. Okay, Wendy with all caps. Never apologize for taking care of yourself. You're right. That's right. Because I tell you guys, hey, take care of yourselves first before anything else. So it looks like I got to follow my own rules too. Those are the rules. But without further ado, welcome to the show. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Shout out to my Rumble people. Shout out to my Kick people. Shout out to my X people. Everyone, we are live and direct all over on the platform. So please, everyone, like, comment, share, subscribe. And you know what? I think it's only fair that we do get started with our first segment of the day. Let's get to it. Let's get started with it. Let's get ready. Well, free speech. Free speech is on the chopping block. And you know what? I know I keep saying this, guys, but last year I was proven correct. And no, I'm not going to be an egomaniac. I'd be like, woo, I was right. Like, oh, God, I was right. Because it looks like 2026 is going to start off with the fact that there's probably going to be more online suppression, censorship. And I'm going to say this. Anyone that uses these kind of tools to censor and suppress, to terminate, to demonetize, hey, way to contribute to the overall all-seeing eye of Sauron that will silence all independent media voices. And so, we did end 2025 at least on a good note. I mean, JB's channel was finally remonetized. And look, it's first of all, I'm glad that JB's channel is fully remonetized. I'm happy for him, and I hope it stays that way. But this goes out to all my colleagues on the left and on the right. We need to put aside whatever differences we have, because I think this is going to be a big toe-to-toe slug match as we are in store for some real heavy changes that's going to impact how we do our work in this media space. Case in point, I want to pull up this video here. Caught my attention. But an Israeli billionaire, New Year's resolution is to eliminate what? The First Amendment. And quote, I know it's difficult here, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. Let me be clear on this one. You should never limit the First Amendment to protect it. The First Amendment is fundamentally important to our constitutional republic. The First Amendment is something I believe in, okay? Now, I myself have dealt with censorship, suppression, termination, demonetization, and I've seen my colleagues deal with it too, on the left and on the right. And while I may not agree with everybody, I don't want to see them silenced. So here, let's start off 2026 strong. with stuff like this. I'll keep the pausing to a minimum because you guys need to hear it all. It's going to be fun.
Network. Shlomo Kramer, also one of the founders of Checkpoint, another big cyber company. Shlomo, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How is AI, cyber warfare, shaping geopolitics right now?
So AI is going to revolutionize cyber warfare, from critical infrastructure to the fabric of society and politics, and undermining it, giving unfair advantage to authoritarian governments against democratic countries. First Amendment type of...
That's already happening?
That's already happening. You're seeing the polarization in countries that allow for the First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
No, 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 no. Because as soon as you start limiting it, you can terminate it. As soon as you start putting a pause to it, you can take it out back and pop it upside its head. No, we're not doing that to the First Amendment. That cannot be allowed to happen to the First Amendment. I've seen this before. Why is everyone all smiling about this? See, the thing is, I feel like that crazy person in all those disaster movies who says, like, yeah, man, there's going to be a big tidal wave, or yeah, man, there's going to be an asteroid. Yeah, man, that volcano's going to blow up. This is it. And anyone that's involved in this space, hey, we all know about the problems on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or X. It could follow. It could happen on Rumble. It could happen on Odyssey, Rockfin. It could happen on all of them. It could happen on all of them. And let me just tell you something. We need to preserve and protect our First Amendment, okay? There's no excuse to limiting it. Guess what? There's going to be assholes out there. There's going to be jerks. There's going to be evil bastards. There's going to be insane people. But you want to know what counters that? The good people, okay? There's always going to be intense political reactions and counters and yelling at each other. That's just how life is. But you never, ever want to limit the First Amendment. If people start embracing that ideology, guess what? You won't speak soon either. Whenever I hear someone saying we need to limit the First Amendment, they will weaponize it against all their enemies. And anyone that cheerleads along with it or agrees with it in some form or another, don't wait up. It'll get you soon enough. You'll say something that's not correct to the establishment narrative, and then you're locked up all by yourself. And anyone that uses these tools, you are a good little puppet in my book.
First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the
control the platforms. Control the platforms. You know what that means. Come on, you know what that means. And I want to be clear on this one too. I love to see the engagement from my audience when you guys comment on my videos. I love, when you guys get to say that I'm wrong on something or correct on something, whatever it is. But I want you guys to speak about it. Plus, I want you guys to be notified about it. Something tells me it's going to be exponentially more difficult for you guys to be notified, not only for Hardlands Media, but for all of your favorite content creators. It's coming. It's happening, okay? This is going to happen. When you hear stuff like this, that means others are thinking it too. Controlling of the platforms. It's already there. It's already here.
Authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government should control the social media.
Yeah, should do that. And we need to educate people against lies, and government need to develop cyber defense programs that are as sophisticated as the cyber attack. Today, it's a 1 to 100 ratio. And really, government are not doing this today at any rate, and enterprises are left fending from themselves.
The technology is moving much faster than the political system typically can to respond to
so
it.
You need to use technology in order to stabilize the political system, and you need to put adjustments that are perhaps not.
I mean, we're at a point, though,
necessary.
Right? I can go on Instagram or TikTok, and frankly, it already is becoming unclear what is fake and what is real.
Exactly.
And once you eliminate that.
And like the media's never lied or given us fake information. Oh, good thing we found those weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Oh, whoops. What about that Hunter Biden laptop story? Oh, oops. I'm just scratching the surface. Hey, folks, don't hold anything back. Write down that whole list of stuff that you noticed about corporate media lying to you about. Hey, that's if you could post it. A direct challenge to my Heartlands media audience. When I clip this video, can you comment on it? Comment for the algorithm. Hey, you'll be doing me a favor too. Let's experiment. I'm looking forward to seeing the comment though. Hey, this is my 5th attempt trying to comment, and YouTube keeps deleting it. I'm not upset. It's not sour grapes anymore. You know what it is? It's just, it's funny. It's funny, you know? Am I the most censored person? No. Am I in the group of being the most censored? Yes. And for anyone who says, especially those that have millions of followers, saying that they're being censored, are you really? Are you really being censored if you still get that million reach? I love it when I see those. I'm being censored. I got 1 million subscribers. I'm being censored. I got 1 million followers. I'm being censored. If you're still able to get that reach, you're fine.
That ability to discern truth from fiction, and what are you left with?
You're left with polarization of society and inner fighting, and you have to control that. And you see that already happening across the world. So this is an urgent need by the government to do that. And until then, enterprises are buying by themselves more and more cybersecurity solutions, but they can't afford all these solutions by themselves. So they are looking for ways to deliver a more efficient consumption.
And I assume you have some of those ways, obviously.
Right. So, and that drives really the next generation of companies such as Wiz, CrowdStrike, Cato networks on the network that are platforms and are able to deliver this extended need for security in an affordable way for enterprises.
For enterprises,
Right.
not for governments.
Not for government, but government need to start building their programs, and the same tools can be used also by government.
But the two leaders in AI, one is China, which obviously already is using AI to control the population. Yeah. And here we're all out in a race with China. And so we're not as interested in regulation right now, certainly not at the state level.
Gee, I thought big business was against regulation. You know what? Look, if you're so afraid of what somebody's saying, just have your counterpoint. Debate, talk. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to use the system to censor you. I don't like what you said. You hurt my feelings. Or, oh no, we're going to silence you in any which way or form. Like, here's the thing. I don't respect people that use these systems. I don't. And there's going to be more of this. Your skin should be crawling, folks. You should be afraid.
And the same tools can be used also by government.
But the two leaders in AI, one is China, which obviously already is using AI to control the population. Yeah. And here we're all out in a race with China. And so we're not as interested in regulation right now, certainly not at the state level, for example.
And that's a big mistake, because if China has a single narrative that protects its inner stability, and the US has allows for multiple narratives, it puts them in an unfair advantage that long-term is going to cost the stability of the nation. So changes must be made.
Yes, silence and censor, Whoop-dee-doo. Well, whoop-dee-doo. But don't worry, folks. I got something for you guys. Let me tell you about suppression and censorship, because it's bigger than that. I'm going to mention the Hunter Biden laptop story. I know. But why is it important? Because when the story came out, you got censored. When the story came out, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, anyone that posted about the Hunter Biden laptop story on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, their accounts were limited, or censored, or taken down. If you talked about it on YouTube, demonetized, video was removed. All right? It was deemed by the establishment media and the narrative that it was a fake story. Oh, oops. You know what? Here's what I think about anyone that was on board for using a fake story or saying it was a fake story.
And here's what I think about it.
Oh, what the?
And here's what I think about it.
you go. Hey, I'm having fun here.
We eventually broadcast a story about the Hunter Biden laptop after the midterm elections in 2022. We commissioned a forensic review. I got a copy of the laptop data. I have it here still. I went to a lot of effort to get the cleanest copy of the laptop data, the same data that was provided to the FBI, because I didn't want to have any professional journalistic risk for CBS News. I wanted this thing to be totally locked down. When we did the story, we did it after the midterms. I argued against that because it was ready before the midterms. And my training is that you should always do the story when it's ready to go. You should not be dictated by the political cycle. Once we got the laptop story on the morning news, I felt that there was so much there that we could still do. For example, in the text messages, there's unfortunately the use of the N-word, the liberal use of the N-word. And I thought this was worthy of a story, but I was told that it was not something that interested CBS News.
And that's why CBS News is going broke. Hey, I thought CNN was going to go belly up. Honey child, it's going to be CBS. I was wrong. My apologies on that one. I got that wrong too.
Then I asked for a forensic review of the laptop, and we found that there were more than half a dozen emails that were likely used by Joe Biden. I thought that was a story. But the answer that came back was, well, we need to know what the content is of the emails. But that was going to be a years-long process. So there was no way. So there were a lot of reasons I was told not to do it, not to pursue it. I spent a lot of my time at CBS following the Hunter Biden story. And one of the things that really struck me is this kind of disconnect. I didn't understand how a senior executive like George Cheese could tell me that this was a high priority for the network and for his boss. And yet the executives at CBS News, show producers, anchors could refuse that. I came to the conclusion that they must have felt that they were more powerful than George Cheeks, which was astonishing to me. I'd never worked at a place where a directive from the top would be so defied.
Let me explain to you what this means, okay? Behind the scenes, even then, the media is still at its height between 2021, 2022, when the media still had its power, okay? Still, again, there was a lot of point where corporate media still has its power, but this should remind you guys just overall how they control stories, control narratives, control facts and information, all right? Like how we're seeing happening in full real time now. Now, obviously, there was online censorship that was happening and going on. That's no debate, no conversation about it. But now we're seeing it out here in the open. Everyone's talking about it. You as a citizen are not being informed by the local media, the mainstream media, and now in turn, this goes for everyone who has a platform online. We are all being censored and suppressed, and you, our viewers, our subscribers, you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, you like the content, you like the content creator, but now they're telling you you're not allowed to see them. You're not going to be notified when they go live. You're not allowed to comment on their work, and they'll unsubscribe you without your consent. You see, I'd rather have somebody say, hey, F you, loser, in the comment section, or I'd rather have someone choose to unsubscribe than, guess what? Someone tell them what they can and cannot do. I want freedom of choice, and that's what we're being denied here. There are systems that are going to be put in place this year that's going to make things exponentially difficult for us, and this is going to be a midterm election cycle. You better believe that it's going to be a toe-to-toe slug match here. The media is going to be in control. The algorithms are going to get crazier, and it's going to get rough for everyone. Last year, 12 million plus channels were terminated on YouTube. Now, some of these channels were probably scammers. I'll go ahead and consent to that. Yeah, some of them were probably scammers or AI slop. But others were real people who just lost their livelihoods. I did a video where Shoe on Head was telling YouTube, hey, why'd you send, these strikes against these people who are reacting to my video? And in turn, they're allowed to react to it. Okay, so you have the original content creator saying, I don't mind if these reactors are reacting to it and bringing awareness to it. It's going to get worse. And this is my call to reason for 2026. Everyone who's in independent media, we need to form an alliance. Okay. And if we're able to secure our rights somehow, okay, I mean, this goes for everyone, then we can go right back to hating each other. I promise. Okay. It'll be great. But let's just form this alliance right now and protect ourselves, because if we don't start working together, we're all going to get it right up the wazoo. All right. It's going to get rough. 2026 already sounds like so much fun. Giddy up on that horse. I'm dying. All right, welcome everybody to the show. We got a lot to talk about. Don't worry, we're going to keep on going forward. So, look, I'm going to lighten the mood up because, yes, I am going to talk about the Minnesota Somali fraud story, and I have an apology for that one, so don't worry. But I think we're going to do something else here. Okay? We're going to have a little fun here. When the girls are yelling, you just got to say, hey, sit down, okay? Stop fighting. Stop yelling. Sean Ryan and Dan Crenshaw. It's funny. And I'm coughing. And I'm dying. This is funny, okay? Obviously, these two have it out for each other. And you know what? I love it. It's great. It's beautiful. And every single one of us should be smiling about it too. Now, look, Dan Crenshaw, according to Unusual Whales, oh my goodness, he's doing pretty good with that insider trading, allegedly, right? I mean, Unusual Whales are reporting on it, and let's be clear. Sean Ryan was asking about Dan Crenshaw's, Wall Street trading and everything else, but there's been an update. Update.
It's 2026, and this is not how I wanted to kick my new year off, but here we are. It's one of those times where I need to be honest and transparent with you guys, because I always have been. Whenever I make a mistake, I take ownership of it, and I apologize to those that were affected, whether I like them and respect them or not, because that's the right thing to do, and that's what a man does. And so what do I need to talk to you about? I need to talk to you about the Dan Crenshaw situation. As many of you know, he sent me a cease and desist, threatened to sue me. I made a rebuttal. I invited him on the show. Then he challenged me. I accepted. I said, okay, perfect. January 2nd. To come on this show, you have to sign a release form. Just about everybody let me rephrase that. Everybody that's been on this show since around episode 10 has signed a release form. President Trump, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Kent, lots of very important people, much more important than a congressman, have signed that release form. Everybody that has been interviewed in the new studio has signed the exact same release form. So, Dan Driscoll, Secretary of the Army, signed the exact same release form. Mike Waltz, former National Security Advisor and Ambassador to the UN, signed the exact same release form just a few days ago. Dan and his attorneys, they don't want to sign the release form. They want special concessions. We sent them that release form on December 26th. They then sent a bunch of red lines. We said, we're not making any special circumstances or modifying our release form for the congressman.
So, geez. So, in other words, what do you mean? Like, Dan did not want to sign? Don't worry. I'm going to be fair and balanced here. We got Dan Crenshaw's response too, and it's kind of funny.
Sorry, that's not going to happen. But we will make some special concessions for his protection on another document and send that over. Well, they have yet to sign either one of those documents. I have to have those documents signed to interview somebody. Everybody's done it. I talked to my attorney. I said, I think this is what's going to happen. They are going to wait until close of business on New Year's Eve to send some type of a communication in hopes that we don't get it, because who the hell is checking their email at 10 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve? Well,
Nobody. All right. I was eating a nice little steak. Okay. It was delicious and nutritious.
Well, guess what? We get an email at 10 o'clock at night from Dan's campaign manager on New Year's Eve, where the next day is a national holiday and nobody's behind their desk. And the next day, it's game day, it's interview time. They said, we've booked the hotel that you've recommended. Will somebody be there to pick us up? There was no mention of the release forms. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to come here and they're going to make a big stink on how I didn't interview them and how I was scared to interview them or whatever, but they're hiding behind the paperwork. And so now this is what's going to happen. Dan, I am now redacting my invitation for you to come on my show. I gave you the opportunity to be a man. You didn't take it. I gave you the opportunity to speak to 5.5 million people and prove to them that you are not insider trading. That's a fucking gift, I might add.
Look, it's all simple, all right? Guy invited you on his show. There's a chance for you to prove him wrong. You know, you don't need to overcomplicate things and have your attorneys involved. Like, that is beyond stupid, okay? Because hang on, folks. There's a whole tweet to this. All right, Sean Ryan canceled. Why? I agreed to appear. I agreed on something. My attorney asked one clarifying question about a vague and poorly written legal clause. My travel's booked on the 15th. Here's our communications. Now listen. To each their own, okay? To each their own. But if you have to go on a long Twitter thread to explain why things went down like this and all of this, you lose the argument, okay? I mean, I know politics is all nothing but hot air, but this is what hot air looks like, okay? Okay? So, like, what is this? And why are you sending this all on New Year's Eve, man? Ain't nobody working. Ain't nobody working. Ain't nobody working. I wasn't working. All right. Plus, I have an excuse too. I've been sick. Okay. Even if I was healthy, even if I was at my full 100, I ain't working, baby. I ain't working. No. If you're right, it's coughing here, dying. Look at this. Look at all this. Look at all this. Okay. And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's all stupid.
A gift that not very many people get, and you turned it down. I'm not going to interview you now. I don't play games. I handle shit like a man. You know, here's another thing. When we talked to your campaign manager, they said, oh, we send a lot of these letters out, and usually this takes care of it. Now, I told everybody, about a week, 2 weeks ago, this is what you do, Dan. You're a bully. You bully people into submission. Anybody that scrutinizes you, you send them a nastygram and you threaten to sue them. And that works. Unfortunately, it didn't work on me. And so for my audience, what I've done is I've just exposed how much of a bully Dan Crenshaw is. So from now on, if you want to scrutinize Congressman Dan, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get a harshly written letter threatening to sue you if you don't take the content down and make a public apology. And then that's it, because Dan doesn't have the courage to actually do anything else. So don't worry. You're not going to get sued. You've been exposed, Dan. Bye.
Oof. Now, Dan responded with sunglasses and I guess a fighter jacket. All right, Danny boy, take it away.
So, of course, Sean Ryan is backing out. A lot of people said he would. I thought he would. And now he's making claims, false claims, that, again, are easily disprovable. And I will show you the evidence of the emails back and forth between us. Sean, giving you one last chance. I can still make my flight to Nashville, but I've only got maybe half an hour to do so. You know very well that we agreed to your terms on Monday. We have all the email evidence to prove it. The only special privilege that was asked for was actually from you guys, from your attorney. You asked that we waive any right to hide behind the what's called the speech and debate clause. And in Congress, if you make a if you make a speech on the floor, you can't be sued for it. Of course, it doesn't even apply here. But we said, sure, we'll sign it. Just send us.
Hey, hold on, Lady Alex, since you are our official residential nurse, what kind of treatment would you give both Dan Crenshaw and Sean Ryan? It seems like they're both got their feelings hurt. I mean, look, if anything, it's very interesting how Sean Ryan was able to it looks like two girls fighting back and forth, but it's so funny. It's like high school drama. But what would you recommend for healing for these two?
That we waive any right to hide behind the what's called the speech and debate clause. And in Congress, if you make a if you make a speech on the floor, you can't be sued for it. Of course, it doesn't even apply here. But we said, sure, we'll sign it. Just send us the updated language. Your lawyer said on Monday, we'll send the updated language. You never sent us anything to sign. Nothing. You claimed that we wanted all this other special treatment. The only thing we took out of the original contract was liability waivers on ATVs, because we're not going to ride any ATVs. Okay. And then you guys freaked out about that. And so we said, fine, we'll do it your way. On Monday, we agreed to everything you wanted. Everything on Monday. Don't try to confuse people by talking about some email on New Year's Eve. That was from my campaign manager to your producer, just checking in, saying, hey, we're good to go. We've got our flights. We're ready. That was all that email was. Don't pretend like that was some last minute thing. You guys said on Monday you'd send us the updated stuff. We said we'd agree to it. I have a flight to Nashville this afternoon coming out of Virginia Beach. Still want to do this or not, buddy? Or are you too scared? Maybe you looked into all the facts and realized they weren't really on your side. I don't know. Let's figure it out. That was the whole point. Out.
Out. Okay. So what's the takeaway? Girls, sit down. You're both pretty. Will we ever get a big shocking fight back and forth? Will Sean Ryan expose even further of Dan Crenshaw, or is this just more of like, I hate you, I love you? It looks very love tappy. Okay, it looks, obviously this conversation is not going to happen, but I talked a little bit about this in 2025, and I found it to be interesting. Especially like all of a sudden when legal action is being used and it sounds stupid. I mean, you don't need lawyers or middle people. Just talk about it. Email each other. Okay, agree to the date and time to be on the show, and then just like when you're about to take someone on a date, you get to know them, then do the show, and then comes all the fun. It's all the fun, right? All the loving. But there's none of it. It's not gonna happen. There's such tension. Oh, so much tension. You could feel it in the air. You feel it out there. It's the electricity, man. I think that's a great note. Get Dana White on this. You know what? That's the perfect moderator. Dana White. Have it in a UFC fight arena. Joe Rogan there too. It'll be perfect. So much tension, so much testosterone that you're going to slip and fall and bust your head open. And hold on. Time for a speech about how women are overly emotional. I don't know. These two are a little bit overly emotional. I will side with Sean on this one, though, because he was able to stand up and pretty much, get Dan Crenshaw to back down, which is interesting. But overall, the reason why I'm following up on this and talking about this is because, one, there was allegedly, again, as it shows, legal paperwork being used to bully somebody. And you know what? I don't like that. Don't like it at all. So secret's out. So who else? Warehouse 5, slap fight. Yes! Because I also know Dana White's still trying to really promote that. Slap boxing or slap fighting, which, as a side note, why would you invest in that? But okay, hey, you know what? Who am I to take that away from anybody, right? Who am I to take that away from anybody? That being said, oh, Dr. Nick. Hey, Dr. Nick is in the house, our official residential pope of 2026 still, always. Long may he reign, okay? There you go. There you go. All right. Mastermind hours in the chat. We got my Kick people. We got my Rumble people. And now we're going to move on to something that I was shocked to see, but we're going to bring it up here now. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay. So for those who don't know, Kick is in connection with steak. Okay. Now what's steak? No, not the delicious steak that you eat, but steak. STAKE. All right. Drake, Adin Ross, and Stake are named in a new civil RICO class action lawsuit. The class action lawsuit allegedly illegal gambling promotion and artificial music streaming. So, boy, it looks like a no bueno kind of thing. No situation here. But here we go. What a way to start off 2026 for Drake and Adin Ross, who have done live streams together. But somewhere out there, I'm seeing somewhere out there. I don't know. I feel it in my head. Kendrick Lamar's Kendrick's smiling. I see him everywhere. He's there. He's over here. It's great. Kendrick out there is smiling. So the lawsuit, report on January 1st, on New Year's Day, alleges that Drake, Ross, and Stake, and an additional individual, George Newgan, used Stake's tipping feature to exchange money among themselves. According to the filing, the funds were allegedly used to artificially boost Drake's music streams across major digital platforms. Kendrick Lamar, you will never see this video because the algorithm will censor it, but I invite you to be a guest on my show. I would love your opinion on this. I'm going to push through this story. Don't worry. In addition, through Stake's tipping function, defendants have financed their combined artificial streaming botting to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music, fabricate popularity, disparage competitors and music labor executives, distort recommendation algorithms, and distribute financing for all of the foregoing while concealing the flow of funds. Two plaintiffs reportedly alleged in the complaint. The lawsuit further claims that Drake knowingly allowed encrypted transfers to be disguised as giveaways that were largely unavailable to the general public. It also references an alleged $100,000 tip transfer between Ross and Drake in 2023. Drake's 2024 Drizmas live stream with Ross is cited as an example of the defendants allegedly circulating tips to support botting and paid engagement activity. In addition, the filing reportedly mentions a $220,000 car that Stake allegedly gifted to Ross days before the lawsuit was submitted on New Year's Eve. The case was filed in the United States District Court, the Eastern District of Virginia, and seeks $5 million in damages. The plaintiffs, identified as Lashana Ridley and Tiffany Hines, described in the filing as stake.users within the United States. Drake faced similar lawsuits in New Mexico and Missouri last year. The new filing follows a recent live stream in which the artist reportedly gave away a portion of his stake earnings. Oh my goodness gracious, Cretaceous. So here we go. Here's a response.
Oh my God, they deadass built a RICO case. What is this? These tips and money, others like them, cycled amongst defendants Drake, Ross, and Wynn, underwriting botting and paid engagement campaigns. Stakes platform design, which mass... Brother, is this why I... Thank God I didn't take a gambling deal. Wait a minute. Should I call Adin?
Now, here's the thing, okay? I'm going to let y'all a little hint. I think Kick is a great platform. I think it's far better than Twitch. But there's a little caveat, okay? If you get big enough and large enough on Kick, there is that caveat of supporting Stake and I guess doing gambling promotions or whatever. And that's the problem. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Kick. I think it's great and all. I think it's very independent. But whereas Twitch is owned by Amazon, there is this problem here. Now, with this lawsuit, this RICO case, I want to point out that Adin was there with Kick from the beginning, as was Drake. This is definitely a no bueno. Not a good thing. Believe you me, not good. We'll see how this all plays out.
There's no way, right?
Because, hey, you could file a lawsuit, you know, and lawsuits I've used the same way as warfare, you know. Wars start when you want them to start, but they don't end when you want them to end.
Bro, he might not pick up. He might be in a case. Yo!
Hey, Stable.
I'm live right now. Are you going through a RICO?
Fuck. I can't talk to you about that.
I'm sorry he's going through it.
That's what you call me about?
No, I wanted to make sure you're okay.
I'm straight. But regarding the RICO, allegedly, in my opinion, I'm good.
Oh my God, they deadass built a RICO.
So, yes. So, at least according to Adin Ross, he's good, right? Allegedly. But a little bit more into this. Drake and Adin Ross are being sued over the promotion of Stake. The federal class action lawsuit, as reviewed by Complex, was filed in Virginia on December 31st, 2025, and claims that the website is operating as one of the most largest and most profitable illegal online casinos since at least 2022. First of all, illegal, I find that questionable, but okay. All right, they're going to have to prove it in court. Hey, legal mindset. You got some homework to do for 2026 for all the lovely, beautiful people out there. But here's the thing. You got to be living under a rock. If you didn't know that Stake was online gambling, then what's wrong with you? Everybody knew this. Don't be stupid here. Okay. I'm gonna look. Anyone saying it's illegal. Everybody knew about it. Everybody knew about Stake. No one's gonna be this dumb about it. Plaintiffs Lashana Ridley and Tiffany Hines allege that Stake misleads consumers while allowing real money wagering disguised as virtual currency play. Drake and Ross are characterized in the lawsuit as zealous and paid promoters of the platform with incentives to mask the true nature and extent of their conduct. The complaint also claims that Stake's tipping system was used by Drake, Ross, and Egan as to move large sums of money, including a public $100,000 tip between Drake and Ross to fund artificial streaming botting to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music. Somewhere out there, Kendrick is laughing. Somewhere out there, Kendrick is laughing. But by the way, there's going to be a little bit more of a fallout. Now, I want to point this out here. This has nothing to do with the lawsuit, but a question was brought up. And, you know, I got to say it here. Some time ago, $12 million was raised on one of the most successful live streams on Kick. And it was the Team Water charity that was hosted by XQC, Mr. Beast, and Adin Ross. Now, this was on Kick. This was a very successful live stream, $12 million. $12 million on Kick. All right. This was a big moment in Kick's history last year. But a question was brought up. What happened to those wells? Because, you know, something tells me that people are going to be doing more knee-jerk reactions and more lawsuits.
Mr. Beast broke the world record for the most amount of money ever raised on a live stream.
Where are these wells, by the way? Now that we're back on YouTube streaming, I put $1,000 into this Team Water thing. Where the fuck are the wells? Also, you know what's a little bit annoying to me? Angela, I think it's good that Mr. Beast is doing charity, yada, yada, yada. But whenever they list, they're like the biggest billionaires on YouTube. The number one, the top 10 richest YouTubers in the world. Mr. Beast, number one, $1 billion. Number two, Logan Paul, 100 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're telling me Mr. Beast is by far the richest YouTuber in the world. He's a billionaire, valuated $1 billion. Why the fuck did you need our money for this well shit? Nigga, open a bank account, open the books.
Exactly. Why do you need the money? Why do you need the money? See, the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening with this RICO. All right, depending on how far they go, because right now, if it's happening, cases being filed, now comes the long process. And when it comes down to federal court cases, the wheels of justice move slowly. This isn't probably Adin Ross's or Drake's first rodeo, because there's going to be the discovery. You got to go through discovery. You got to go through the whole process of setting things up, information, and everything else. And the thing is, it's easy to file a lawsuit. Now, the thing is, can you hold it? Can it stand? And because you're taking on Stake, you're by proxy also taking on Kick, and then every single other large streamer as well by proxy. All right. This is now a full-on war, and all parties are going to have to realize that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, look, RICO, very serious, but RICO involves criminality. So they got to show what? Illegal activities, criminality, illegal actions by Stake, by Drake, by Adin Ross, and that's going to be difficult for the plaintiffs to do. You got to have witnesses. Who are you going to subpoena? What are you going to do? Because the defense has every right to defend themselves. And the thing is, look, when it comes down to the algorithm, it's always going to be an unfair match. I could sit here for hours on end and tell you how unfair the algorithm and rhyme is to me or any other content creator, but that's just how it is. It's the nature of the business. At one time, it wasn't like that. Now it is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tired of the lies. Shades of Hawaii and Oprah and The Rock asking for money. You know what? To be fair, though, for that Team Water event, they were calling up larger YouTubers and other content creators who were giving in money and everything else. So they were doing that. But I am curious, though, about those wells. Water, we need it everywhere. But oops, the data centers are taking it. So, all right. Now comes the fun. First big lawsuit of 2026. Stake. Here we go. There we go. Hold on. Kit spent all of his lottery money. No, I never won any lottery money. But you know what? As someone who's gone through RICO, someone's gone through it. Don't snitch, Kit. Don't snitch.
What are you doing here? Surprise? Why don't you come on out here? Let's talk for a minute.
No, Kit, don't.
Of all places, you show up in front of my house?
Don't do it.
You know why I'm here. I need a name. Look, nobody tells me anything, so I can't give you a name.
Don't give her a name, dude.
Well, what I do know is that we have you for gun charges. We've got you for drug charges. We've got you for RICO.
Damn it. She had to mention my RICO. She had me on RICO. The RICO.
You just go on ahead and give me a name, man. Sing, little canary, sing.
You want a name?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's Trey.
I first solidify myself as a snitch. All right. Volunteer says Kit doesn't mind the drug charges. Hey, quit. And see, hold on. Pam K30, was this an actual movie? No, it was not. No, it's not. And Lady Alex says, I miss long-haired Kit. So do I. All right. Trey is after you now. I know. I didn't do anything. It's not my fault. But now we do have to move on to our next segment of the day. Let's go. Let's get to it. So here we go. All right. Here's why many of you are here. The Minnesota fraud case. What's going on here? Okay. So last year we ended 2025 on a very interesting note. The high quality learning center, healthcare business being found in one warehouse. And the thing is, I want to be clear on this. All right. Let's be very clear. When it comes down to this kind of story, there's always two sides, because talk about having a great distraction. There's been a lot of people pushing back and saying, well, what Nick Shirley has exposed isn't correct and everything else in between. And the thing is, it's evolved into something else now. It's evolved into full-on drama and violence, and it's going to be used as a political tool for people not to use their critical thinking skills. So first of all, let's talk about the Minnesota fraud. All right, let's talk about it. Let's pull it up here and address it in its full entirety, especially from local reporting about the fraud crisis. What's going on?
Minnesota's fraud crisis, specifically related to childcare. Here's the latest.
We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says it's freezing childcare funds for Minnesota after a YouTuber claimed to uncover fraudulent centers in a viral video. The state gets about $185 million in federal funds each year. The HHS deputy secretary says he's demanded Minnesota Governor Tim Walz audit those centers featured in the video. The governor responded on X, saying this is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans.
Now, look, there's been a lot of accusations and accusing of Nick Shirley and others doing fraud. All right, there's these accusations all online. Again, everyone's posting, everyone's talking about it. But I want to point out here, is this something that Trump does? Yeah, but Democrats do it too. And when you have a building spelling the word learning as leering wrong, oh yeah, people are going to focus on it. See, here's the thing. People have very short attention spans. All right. People see something and they focus on it. All right. They focus on it like flies to honey. Okay. Or flies on shite. And that is when you see the word leering instead of learning, everyone's going to wonder, well, how long has this been going on for? When you have an example of health insurance companies being in one building, people are going to talk about it, like what's going on here. All right. And in this day and age right now where everyone's being taxed, cost of living is going up, people's mindsets will be focused on the money and fraud and not look at the bigger picture and how we're being distracted. Because, if you wanted, I'm being deleted here. If you wanted to be distracted about the Epstein files, hey, why not just have something like a whole bunch of fraud happening in Minnesota? Now, again, there's fraud here, okay? There's scamming, there's illegal activities going on here. You can't deny it. Is it overall big problem that's being exploded out to be? No, but it's going to be very soon, and you'll see why.
Some of the featured child care centers are firing back. This one says footage from their security camera proves kids were present when the YouTuber stopped by. Our Connor White went there to take a closer look. All new at 10.
You want to make ready for kindergarten.
This is ABC Learning Center in Minneapolis.
They have to learn ABC and numbers.
Director Ahmed Hassan gave WCCO a tour after finding his daycare in the national spotlight.
All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center.
In a now viral video, right-wing YouTuber Nick Shirley claims nearly a dozen daycare centers in Minnesota are taking public funds but not providing a service. He says ABC Learning Center is one of them, knocking on the door in mid-December.
I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Hassan says his employee didn't respond because Shirley was in a group of about 8 people, and his staff were concerned about recent ICE activity.
Is this daycare committing fraud?
No, we're not committing fraud.
Hassan showed us security footage from the same day Shirley was here. According to the timestamps in the videos, this woman takes a young child into the center at around 9 a.m. that day, about 3 hours before Shirley arrives at the door closer to the street. Within the hour after Shirley leaves, a woman arrives at...
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Was this the back door? The front door? Were these cameras edited in any which way, shape, or form? Okay? Because you could do that. You could do that security footage. It'll be easy to spot, though. But, I mean, that could happen. But also, there are examples of people just bringing in their kids, going in there, getting a little paycheck, and then going right on out.
The other door with a stroller. A larger family heads inside a few hours later. Tuesday afternoon, WCCO found at least a dozen children at ABC Learning Center, which is licensed with the state. Records show Minnesota officials last visited the daycare in November, noting some corrected and ongoing violations related to day-to-day operations, but no record of fraud.
What did I do? I'm just a typical human being who wants to live and do the right thing. I have kids to feed.
Umi Hassan, the daycare's current owner, believes these latest fraud accusations are political. Both she and Hassan are Somali Americans.
We pay our taxes. We do whatever we can to be a law-abiding citizen. At the same time, when one Somali does something wrong, we all get collective punishment.
With Shirley's video now approaching 2.3 million views on YouTube alone, they say they are getting nonstop phone calls harassing them.
I was looking for a place for my granddaughter.
With many of those calls attached to out-of-state phone numbers.
They normally say, knock, knock, we're going to come. You're going to arrest, something like that.
Hassan says they turned over attendance records to comply with the Department of Homeland Security request. They're now waiting to hear back. CBS News is reviewing records related to the same daycares. All but 2 have active licenses. And Aaron, while the active places have violations related to safety or staff training, there's no recorded evidence of fraud specifically.
Okay, interesting. Connor, thank you so much. Well, another facility highlighted in the YouTube video was Quality Learning Center. The people operating it would not speak with us.
Yes, exactly. Because look, listen, I'm just going to let you on a little secret here. All right. If they kept the leering on there for how long, only now fixing it, yeah, there's some questions about overall whether you're going to get some quality learning at that center. All right. I'm sorry, but if there's anything that fits the profile of being a scam or being questionable, or perhaps maybe this building is not being used as intended, it's this place. It fits the profile. I mean, come on. You're only fixing the name now because of a YouTube video.
But we did talk to a mother dropping off her kids.
I take my kids here, 2 o'clock to 10. Yeah, there's a lot of kids inside.
We spoke with another woman who says she owns the building that houses the daycare. She says they've been operating there since 2017. New tonight, this child care facility says it's dealing with the fallout of fraud allegations. The Nokomis Daycare Center in Minneapolis says vandals did extensive damage there overnight. They believe divisive and hateful rhetoric toward the Somali community is to blame. We expect to learn some more details tomorrow. Federal agents are conducting a, quote, massive operation in Minneapolis right now. The Department of Homeland Security has posted these videos of agents going door to door at suspected fraud sites. The daycare investigation represents a new front in Minnesota's fraud fight. More than 50 people have been convicted so far in the $250 million COVID-era scheme involving Feeding Our Future. Prosecutors believe fraud in 14 state Medicaid service programs could total $9 billion. Updates to the fraud crisis are coming in fast, so be sure to stick with.
So in other words, here's what's going to be happening. And look, Red Fox Punk says it correctly. Sadly, these things won't be handled 100% correctly when it's this huge. And I'm going to tell you why it won't be handled correctly at all, because now it's going to evolve into ego, pride, and people's feelings getting hurt, and this being used as a political chip and tool. Now, I know everyone's saying, hey, oh, this person's a fraudster, this person's a grifter. This is evolved now into something else. And it's going to be used in 2026 during the midterm election cycle for you to vote Democrat or Republican and to hate the other. Forget fraud, forget the kids, forget about having a high quality Leering Center. All that's off the table, because now has come out that Coca-Cola classic, that thing we all love, political violence. Woo! Political violence. Why? Well, first of all, you got stuff like this, all right? I don't encourage stuff like this. I hate it. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. Here we go.
Look at this punk-ass little fucking racist white dude in Minneapolis, Nick, whoever the fuck he is. TikTok. Y'all know what. You're doing well. Fuck that dude.
Okay, so what does that mean? Well, of course, now you have Nick Shirley saying stuff like that he's being threatened.
There's like bounties on me here in Minnesota. Lots of messages, death threats, obviously, on social media.
Nick Shirley received death threats, and someone offered a $1 million reward for his capture. After he exposed the alleged fraud involving billions of dollars, Minnesota became no longer safe for him. In her recent public statement, Shirley indicated that as the investigation progressed and the exposure expanded, she began to receive a large number of threatening messages, including threatening content aimed at others' personal safety. Regarding the so-called bounty claim, it has not yet been publicly confirmed by law enforcement agencies, but the dissemination of such remarks has already rapidly escalated the situation. As welfare and daycare subsidy frauds were continuously exposed, the long-term beneficiaries who had profited from it began to panic and become angry. Investigators in Minnesota received death threats and were warned with BOLO alerts. The incident escalated from a financial corruption issue to a serious conflict involving personal safety, reflecting the intense backlash after the systematic fraud was exposed.
Now, you could either like Nick Shirley for what he did or hate him. You could stand in solidarity with anyone who you want in this entire story. But now the fraud thing is going to be replaced with exactly what Gray Walker joined third party is saying. Exactly, Kick. American politics is just musical. Villains and saviors. And they're going to tell you now to vote Democrat or Republican. They're going to tell you that this side is more evil than the other. They're going to tell you that the enemy comes in many forms. And you want to know something else? Why it's going to get out of hand? And why the original? Because here's the thing. I don't like fraud, okay? I mean, my goodness, we have fraud at the federal level. We have fraud at the state level. We have corrupt politicians, federal, state, local, you name it. All right. Now, all this stuff, all this drama about people being threatened, here we go. Because now you also got this BS, okay? Because Elon Musk now is here. Where supposedly you have a Somali TikToker threatening Elon Musk's life. And Elon Musk goes on to say, then it is a war.
When people say like this is fake, I'm like, actually, well, let's look at
kan muxuu haystaa lacag bis u haystaa baduu fool xun yahay iska fool xun yahay kan waa duq uu dim rabaa. I wouldn't worry too much about this one. That albaabkiisa jooga. I wouldn't worry too much about him. He about to die.
Okay, great. Political violence. We did it. Everyone's stirred up to a pitch these days. Everyone's all wound up. Now, again, some of these threats could be fake. Some of these threats could be real. But the real problem is that the bigger story of fraud is going to be pushed aside. The bigger story is that the whole idea of corruption and abuse of power will be pushed aside to where people's emotions, and people get to ride the emotions. People get to say that the left is violent. People get to say the right is violent. People are going to say the right is intrusive, that the left is intrusive, that one side is going to be more threatening to the other side. And this is how you ignore the story of the Epstein files, or this is how you ignore the fact that politicians are doing insider trading. The story of fraud will be pushed out as people's emotions, sides, and factions. And what better way? What better way than to have something like this that's a very serious problem, fraud, be now pushed aside with people's emotions and feelings. The logical mindset is being cast out. Nobody ever says all political violence is a bad thing, Kit. Yeah, well, all of it's bad. All of it's bad. All of it's bad. All of it's bad. And let's see. And a lesser evil is an evil that appeals to our own evil nature to a degree where we're comfortable with. Exactly. Exactly. It looks like I'm being teleported away by the machine spirit. What else we have here? Let's see. Elon Musk, or whoever is running his account, he is perpetually online. Of course. And now that you have high-profile figures now being weighing in on this, you better believe that Minnesota is going to be a very interesting battleground state. You got Governor Tim Walz there. You got all sorts of high-profile Democrat lawmakers there. So what else can go wrong except for the fact that there's going to be major pushback? There's going to be all this pushback. And I want to pull up this article here. And again, huge shout out to everyone else that's been calling this video out. The Trump administration is freezing child care funding to the state of Minnesota in response to a viral video that purports to expose extensive fraud by federally funded daycare centers. Nick Shirley, a 23-year-old self-described independent YouTube journalist, posted a 42-minute video on X and YouTube the day after Christmas. In it, he and an older man identified only as David visit variously seemingly empty daycare centers, bombarding Somali employees with questions and accused them of not providing services to any children despite receiving public funds. The pair claimed to have exposed over $110 million in fraud. Allegations of social services fraud in Minnesota have been the subject of federal investigations and mainstream media coverage for years. In one high-profile example, more than 90 individuals have been charged since 2022 in the ongoing case of Minnesota nonprofit that prosecutors say misappropriated some more than $250 million in federal COVID-19 relief funds to feed children in need, calling it the largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the country. So already the fraud is happening. But also now the video is being called out that perhaps maybe he visited these places before the kids got there. But how many of these buildings are fully legit? You know, you got stuff like this. One building.
This building right behind me has 22 different home and community-based healthcare companies registered in the building. It's only 4 floors. I walked in there yesterday trying to find a number of them. Many of them are they appear to be just window fronts, door fronts with nobody behind. So same story, different location. We're here in St. Paul at this building, which looks like a warehouse or a dilapidated old building. Inside this building, there are 60 registered home and community health care organizations inside this one building. We're here in Northeast Minneapolis, and we're at a building that I believe is on the radar of authorities. They have questions about it. A lot of the businesses in here are home healthcare businesses. Of the total businesses, there's 37. 17 of them are home healthcare businesses. There's just layer upon layer of.
Now, here's the thing. I want to pull up something else here, okay? Because I want to be clear on this. No one is a hero in this story, okay? The only thing that is correct is exposing fraud. But now, how is this fraud going to be used, okay? I want to give a huge shout out to Indy from INN News. Somali fraud in Minnesota. All right, so let's talk about this. I truly despise duopoly politics. The reality is that while both sides play for the same owners, they are also fighting each other for power. Team sports does exist in politics, especially in the 24-hour political news world. Their goal is to push propaganda on behalf of advertisers and owners to control the focus and content of the news cycle daily. When one side screeches about corruption coming from the other side while ignoring what's happening in their own house, almost every time it's a narrative distraction. Simply put, my read TLDR on the Somali daycare fraud story is it's a Republican-led, Israeli-led narrative rage bait thing. There may be actually some fraud here. There is, of course, but it is more part of a systematic targeting and persecution of Somalis, more than 50% of whom are American citizens. So let's talk about some of the things that will happen, and I do see it happening. Smearing Ilhan Omar benefits Republicans for a 2026 challenger. That's going to happen. Minnesota, listen. Governor Tim Walz is his own worst enemy. He's going to be down. He's going to be down and out. He's an idiot. Othering brown people which conservative outlets seem to do often, distracting from the rampant corruption in Ukraine, Israel, and the U.S. military spending, which both parties have funded, would like you not to notice or be upset about. And again, turning Americans against Somali, which benefits Israel, in a recognition of Somaliland as a vehicle to export as many as 1.5 million Palestinians, building a narrative convincing a group of people that Nick Shirley is a credible investigative journalist, which benefits people backing him and those who platform him. So I wanted to say just a couple of things here. First of all, if it wasn't going to be Nick Shirley, it was going to be somebody else. Somebody else was going to cover this story. Somebody else was going to pull it up, okay? All right? Topher 1010. Again, Nick didn't expose anything Project Veritas did 6 years ago. Cases are ongoing. So on what, 50 people? Exactly. Exactly indeed. So here's the thing. If it wasn't Nick Shirley, it's going to be somebody else. Somebody else was going to expose the corruption. And the corruption is there. There is fraud happening in Minnesota. There's no denying it. When you have, 50 healthcare insurance corporations in one warehouse in one building, you got to wonder, well, what the hell are they all doing there? I mean, either they're all very competitive against one another, or they're just like the Coca-Cola classic of no-show jobs. What the hell's going on? Who's keeping an eye on the house? This is a story that's all too familiar and that we see. And in this day and age where the news cycle, everything is viewed in 1 second or 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden it gains the algorithm's favor, people will talk about this. This is going to be a political tool that others are going to use throughout this election cycle. We just started the midterms. It is happening. Democrats and Republicans are going to be fighting over Minnesota. Democrats and Republicans are going to be saying that the left and the right are more violent. They're going to be challenging each other. There's going to be no excuse of what one side will do to the other, because this is how they play the game, and this is how they get voters to go along with it. And overall, once the dust is settled, nothing's going to be done about the fraud case. No one's going to jail. Somebody else is going to take over, and that's how the fraud begins. The only way to really stop the fraud is not participating in voting Democrat or Republican, but by actually putting in real accountability, citizen ballot initiatives, and supporting and building organizations and movements not connected to the Democrat and Republican Party. Somebody is going to expose another outlet of fraud and corruption. I mean, hell, in Chicago, we got it here in spades. We're the world heavyweight champion, being the most corrupt city in America. All right. And Volunteera. Nick Shirley went for the lowest hanging fruit and went viral. And that's how the game works. You don't have to like Nick Shirley. And now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this right here again so everyone understands it. I do not support or condone any violence against anybody. You know, I could have my disagreements with everyone, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But now this story has been evolved into something else. And the fraud will be ignored. Because it's only going to be used as a chip, a card, a little token in the big 2026 match between Team Red and Team Blue. The fraud will not be addressed. No one's going to jail. And all of us can now have a high-quality Leering Center until someone else exposes it again and they go viral. It's a very, very sick cycle indeed. That being said, that's just my nuance. Now, I do care about the story. I care about it. I do, because I don't like fraud. I don't like corruption. I just think now it's been handled in a way that will benefit nobody. Hey, that's how people disappear. Lady Alex, ask and you shall receive, my lovely, beautiful nurse. There you go. Because Lady Alex says, oh, I don't hear about the mayor. Well, here you go. So Zoran Mandani's been sworn in. And I don't think anything's going to change. Everyone's panicking. Okay, that he swore in on the Quran or something. I don't care about that. Don't worry. Listen, he got the big boy phone call. Okay, New York City will not turn into Stalingrad. Okay, but he's now mayor. He's in charge of it, and all the bullshit, all the crap that's involved in Chicago politics. I'm not Chicago. Made it slip there. In New York City politics, he will be an inheritor of it. Okay, and don't worry, everyone's gonna hate him. Just like with any other politician. I mean, here's the thing. We'll know Zoran Mandani is an all-star performer if he turns out to be more hated than Brandon Johnson. We'll see. Because it's easy to be on the campaign trail. It's easy to be the fighter. And woo! Once you sit on that throne, all the love can go away. But hey, everyone, let's give it up for everyone's favorite everyone's favorite senator, Bernie Sanders. Lady Alex, this one's for you.
And now it is my honor to swear in your new mayor. Please repeat after me. I, Zoran Kwame Mamdani.
I, Zoran Kwame Mamdani.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties.
Of the office of the Mayor of the City of New York.
Of the office of the Mayor of the City of New York.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And nothing will fundamentally change. It won't. Hey, Bernie, what else you want to say to the people?
At a moment when people in America, and in fact throughout the world, are losing faith in democracy, over 90,000 of you in this city volunteered for Zoran's campaign. You knocked on doors. You shared your dreams and your hopes for the future of this city. And in the process, you took on the Democratic establishment.
Which, by the way, hey, look, Democratic establishment of New York City. Listen, you guys were not on your A game, okay? And I say this directly, okay, because I'm from Chicago. What was that primary? You guys put all your eggs in one basket for Cuomo. I mean, seriously. That was embarrassing. I mean, like, did you really have nothing? And again, for anyone that's so upset about Mamdani being mayor, relax. The Democrat Party, the governor's going to block anything he wants to do. He's going to get a phone call from Obama. And if he keeps screwing up, he's going to get more phone calls. Okay? Like, he's not this big communist person. Plus, not to mention, he has to deal with the damages that his predecessors put in charge. So all this thought and hope that he's going to do all this big heavy lifting. I mean, wake up to reality. He's a politician, not some god. He's a politician, not a miracle worker. You know, the mayor's in office. Now the people have to hold the mayor accountable.
The Republican establishment, the President of the United States, and some enormously wealthy oligarchs. And you defeated them in the biggest political upset in modern American history. You showed the world the most important lesson that can be learned today. And that is that when working people stand together, when we don't let them divide us up, there is nothing we cannot accomplish.
I question it. I press exit out. But don't worry, we got AOC here.
Zohran Mamdani will be the first Muslim mayor of our great city. He will be our first immigrant mayor in over a century. And he will be the youngest mayor of New York City in generations. But most importantly, Zohran will be a mayor for all of us.
And he will disappoint all of us. There you go. See, it's fine. To my conservative viewing audience members, Trump supporters, libertarians, don't worry. He's going to shit the bed. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Listen, we'll know if he's an all-star performer if he's more hated than Brandon Johnson in Chicago, okay? There we go. Because who knows? He'll just probably play ball with the Democrats, okay? Everyone's going to be like, I can't believe I voted for Zoran. He's just like any other Democrat. Yes, of course. I can't believe he cheated on me. Why would he cheat on me? I thought he loved me. He cheated on you with his girlfriend, and now he's cheating on you. What do you think? Woogie boogie boogie. I mean, if you're going to be shocked about this, you don't need to be involved in politics. Okay? I think maybe Zohran Mamdani might be able to do some of the things he said he wants to do, but all that stuff he said he was going to do, don't worry. It ain't going to happen. How do I know? After 8 years of covering politics, I know a bullshitter when I see one, okay? And all this hype, the romanticism, the honeymoon will be over, and it'll be like any other politician. So please relax. Calm down. It's going to be fine. But for all those who are so easily triggered and upset, what more can I tell you that has not been said already? What more can I say about an entire system that is being put in place before us? I mean, when you have a mayor, coming in with this big hype, he's got AOC and Bernie Sanders backing him up. You better believe that this is going to be used in 2026. And of course, how you're going to have Zohran Mamdani, maybe he'll start endorsing people. But I did find interesting, before the end of last year, there were some progressives that he did not endorse or support. So now you got to wonder, is he just going to be falling in line and supporting other mainstream Democrats like how AOC and Bernie Sanders are now doing? Because that whole idea of Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, our revolution, DSA, is nothing more than a dream. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Don't fall in love with a politician. They'll get more than just disappointment. This is why we got to support citizen ballot initiatives. So while it is historic, yes, he did do an upset. It changes nothing. New York City still has its problems. Just it has a brand new mayor. How will he face it? That's the big question. And with that, I have to take a short break. I will be right back. Hold on, folks. We're not done yet with the show, but let's enjoy the Blues Brothers dancing. All right. Hey, folks. Sorry about that. Had to give myself a Ricola, too. So there you go. A little bit of sip of tea and everything else in between. So, all right. Now that I'm focused and a little bit better, who else we got here? Want to see what's going on with my audience. Hold on. Sorry about the break. No, it was not driving me Macy. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. But before we go do anything else, we are going to be moving on to our next segment of the day. And yes, I know I'm going to get my lungs checked and everything else. I'm coughing. I'm sick. I'm in pain, dog. Don't ask me if I'm okay. But we are going to be moving on to our next segment of the day. So let's go. All right, Chicago, just before the whole city brought in the new year, there was talk and conversation about overall the city under siege. So let's talk about Chicago under siege. How Operation Midway Blitz changed our city. A few weeks ago, before Christmas, Ray Estrada's 8-year-old son wrote a letter to Santa. He asked Santa to tell the bad guys to let my dad go, to come to my house on Christmas. Estrada's wife, I don't have words to respond. The boy and his two brothers have not seen their father since October except over video calls. Estrada, a landscaper who's lived in Chicago for nearly 15 years, was working in Edgewater when federal immigration agents pulled up in an unmarked SUV and arrested him. The New Mexico native was taken to a federal immigration processing center in suburban Broadview and then transferred to another facility in Michigan. Soto and her 3 sons are still reeling from the abrupt loss of their father, who has no criminal record, she said. For me and the kids, he's the best. He's the best husband. He's always tried to give the best to our kids. Estrada's more than 4,500 people arrested by the federal immigration agents in the Chicago area during the fall of Operations Midway Blitz and at large. The operations were unprecedented and controversial. Hundreds of immigrant agents came to Chicago to make a surge of arrests that touched every corner of the city and faced wide resistance led by grassroots groups, which I would say about those grassroots groups, you're not stopping what's going to be coming next. And while it is to be pointed out here that there was a lot of this violence, as well as tear gas and so much more, we're in store for more of this. And it's not going to end. And what lies in store is the fact that we have a Chicago mayor who is not effectively leading us out of this disaster. In fact, what this Chicago mayor is going to do is start controlling the narrative and start making more people into his enemy. Case in point, this intense exchange at City Hall.
Everyone to leave. Put the cuffs on my kids too.
At this point,
So y'all can say how ICE had the kids locked up.
Yeah. We will sign the complaints. If you refuse to leave, you will be arrested.
Okay. Sign the complaint.
Wait in the lobby with everyone else, and in a moment we're gonna restart the meeting. We'll be invited back in.
Make sure you get all their badge numbers.
Mhm.
Badge numbers, so we can file a complaint on you. I'm gonna give you directly.
Are you going to refuse to leave, Ms.
This is
Carter?
why people say what they say about the police.
All right, Ms. Thomas, are you refusing to leave?
This is why every last one of them.
But that means that you will be arrested because now you consider trespassing.
That's okay. Lock me up. I get out.
And we want to see y'all do this. We want to see y'all handcuff the kids.
They'll have no adults here with them, so y'all gonna have to take my kids too.
We're gonna put it all over YouTube. This Chicago police. For police, we got Lieutenant Parker right there. We got this man right here. We got
They arresting the kids. They arresting the kids. They're arresting the kids. They talked about ICE words. They talked about ICE arresting illegal aliens, but this is what they doing to the citizens. This is what they doing to the black kids. Look at the black kids. Look at the black kids. Fox, President Trump. Please make this go viral because they're arresting our black kids. She's crying, but then you see they're fighting for illegal alien kids. Please do it. Lock our kids up. I want to see y'all lock our black kids up. No, because y'all wouldn't. It went viral when y'all said they was blocking illegal alien kids.
Y'all gotta lock me up, so y'all gotta take my kids too.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You just ordered the lobby, please.
Come on.
We were in a meeting.
So what's happening here is that the mayor is now removing the public from a city hall meeting. This isn't the first time he's done this, by the way, Mayor Brandon Johnson. But it is interesting because the public has every right to sit in and listen to this.
I have to get arrested if I'm refusing. Lock me and my children up. Me and my children are refusing, so lock us up.
You got all your stuff?
Lock me and my children up because we're refusing.
All right. Please step out.
No, I'm refusing. That's what I'm
All right,
saying.
this way. Let's go. Right this way.
Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
Let's go.
Please don't touch me.
Stay right here. Let's get locked up.
Come on. Let's go.
Y'all
Outside.
gonna be fine. Jalen on her way to 18th and State. That's fine. It is. It is.
That's where we're going. You got to step out first.
This is what it came to. Because they don't want to do public comment. We got to get arrested.
Just walk with me. Just walk
Come
with
on.
me. Bring your kids. We're gonna walk out the team.
Sergeant, can you please, Lieutenant, can you please let my arm go?
President Trump, can you please send the feds here?
Guys, so what you just witnessed was they had two meetings today. They had the city council meeting and they had the budget meeting. The budget meeting supposed to start at 9:30, and the city council
And it never starts on time.
meeting at 10. We were down there earlier around 8. And we were told, we were downstairs and we were told that we could not come up. And then they told us that they were, and we told them we were here for the budget meeting. And it was like,
And no, Trump doesn't like anybody. So no, Trump's not here to save us, which, by the way, again, I want to point out here, Trump says he's taking National Guard troops out of Chicago for now after court defeat. Yes. But don't worry, they'll come back. National Guard will come back. Trump will find something. Chicago prepared to usher the New Year Wednesday with revelers and not an occupying domestic force filling its frosty downtown streets. In just hours to spare, President Donald Trump issued one more social media decree, what amounted to at least temporary retreat from his oft-sought plan to mobilize National Guard troops here in Chicago and in other cities whose leaders don't share his politics. We're removing the National Guard from Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland, Trump wrote on Wednesday on his Truth Social platform before falsely stating that crime declined only by having troops in those cities. We will come back, perhaps in a much different, stronger form, when crime begins to soar again. Only a question of time, Trump wrote Wednesday. Well, wow, whoop-de-doo.
wasn't on, it was 9. And then 9:30. And they said that the budget meeting was going to start late and that Sergeant Arms told us it was going to start late. And then what we had to do was we were going to go, they was going to let us know when we can go up for the budget meeting. We can go upstairs and sign up. And then, and then right after that, after the budget meeting, we would still be in there for the city council meeting. Okay. When they finally let us upstairs, which was 10 o'clock, the budget meeting had started already and they were like almost in the middle of ending it. So we were like, how is it that you all started the budget meeting, didn't let the public up, and we couldn't speak, or we couldn't even come in to the meeting, an open meeting, public meeting, to see what you all are doing with the budget, because this is our money that you all are discussing. How do you keep us downstairs and not let us come up for a meeting and keep us downstairs? And then Alderman Jason Irving said that he didn't have to let us know, or let us know, or any, I don't know what he was saying. And then he said that he to put us out. And so what you saw was us refusing to leave, refusing to allow them to violate our rights. This is what they do all the time, guys. This is called censorship. They don't let you come in because we are watching the budget. We are watching how they're spending our money. We are watching, and they don't like that. So they violate the Open Meeting Act. They violate the your First Amendment, freedom of speech. This is what they do, and they have been doing this for so long with no pushback. Don't nobody say it's allowed to happen, but we say no more. We cannot keep allowing these people, these elected officials who work for us, to keep doing this, because see, this is how they censor you. This is how they shut you up. This is
Yeah, exactly. I'm all too familiar with that. So what's the takeaway? Oh, 2027 is going to be a great year. But right now we're still in 2026. So we still got a whole year before we get to Chicago. But what's the significance of it? Well, first of all, the budget, the alternative budget, has for the most part been approved. Mayor Brandon Johnson said he's not going to veto it. But in regards towards this city and what lies in store for the National Guard potentially being deployed, yeah, Trump removed it. Doesn't mean they won't be back. Just remember, you had the head of ICE, or who's conducting ICE operations in Chicago, saying that he was going to come back in spring and summer, only to come back with a Christmas joy of being here with 200 plus ICE agents as well. So Chicago is going to get another visit again, and the National Guard threat will be looming around the corner. It's going to be a very interesting election year. And while I still have my voice, and while I'm still breathing and using my lungs, mark my words, this isn't over. It's only the beginning. Things are not going to calm down or decompress. Things are going to be pulled up to 11 in Chicago, because that's how the city runs, by 11. And now I think, folks, I have to take it easy now. Have some tea, take some Ricola, all that good stuff, and take care of my lungs and everything else. All right. So no, Accord Lord, we don't do that here. Mayor Kit is the only pick. Please don't clap. All right. It's not please clap. Please don't clap. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You don't put that evil on me. Mayor Kit is the only pick. No. And yes, I do need to get some rest, okay? I do need to get some rest, and I need to take it easy on my voice. So, folks, as we do end this show, the first show of the new year, please take good care of yourselves. I have to take care of myself now, too, because I'm a little bit worried about this flu and how it's been giving me a toe-to-toe slug match. So, much love. Let's see. You may find out that what you have is more above the lungs, Kit. Oh no. No, not Kit for mayor. No, let's not have that, okay? Volunteer, go to the subway. Get out of here. Go to the subway. Get out of here. So, folks, all right, take good care of yourselves. We got music by Jesse Jet, who I think is #1 in the hood. But if you want to help out Hard Lens, hey, don't forget, we have our Linktree, Peachtree. Look at this. Here it is. All of our stuff. YouTube, X, Rumble, Kick, Patreon, Substack, Discord, Instagram. Follow us here, as well as consider being a patron supporter. Patrons, you keep the show alive. There won't be a patron show tomorrow because I actually have to really take care of myself. And as always, look, last year was a big fight, and we're still in it. So any which way you can help support and donate and share to our GoFundMe as we raise our legal fees, all donations are greatly appreciated. Any which way, shape, or form you could share our story. We have our updates and everything else about this case in this GoFundMe, so you can learn more about it. Please, thank you to everyone that's been supporting us and showing us solidarity. I've got nothing but love for this community and nothing but love for all the people that are helping us out. So as always, Take good care of yourselves and each other. We got music by Jesse Jett. My name is Kit. This is Hard Lens Media, and don't worry, I'm already seeing everyone telling me to take it easy, and I will. That's a Kit Cabello guarantee. I promise. I promise you. I promise.
I didn't have to wait for long. I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm. Smile when you say I'm wrong. I can't even fade the song. Can't fake while you play the charms. And I don't know the page you're on, but this is where you say you're wrong.
Now's the perfect time for you to burn the bridge to self-forgiveness. Now's the chance, take a stand, stay your hand before you cast another vote for corporate interest. Another vote that chokes your hopes of owning your own home or opening a business. They love to say their hands were tied, the stars just weren't aligned for them to get their votes in line to see their promises delivered. But they killed it in an instant. Bills don't die by accident, they're all assassinated on behalf of the congressionally kismet. By some lobbyists who see themselves as agents of clandestine fate, not fences in a prison. Dealing in the stolen goods of sleeping slaves and trading on the futures of their children. Betting on a spread of daily dead where every grave's creating profit by the millions. For some fascists lurking in the wings and all of their affiliates. And every Etna demigod our senators conduct their darkest dealings with. It really gets impossible to document or fingerprint, cause it isn't just a pattern of corruption, it's the very fabric making up the structure of the system that we're living in. So dash your hopes and down a margarita goes. You box the shadows, take a little nap, and then you get back in and swing again. But if the margarita made you sick, you probably wouldn't take a drink again. So if you're voting either party, honey, think again. I recommend you steel your nerves and never serve an officer, a president, a despot, or a king again. And mark my words, the day will come where we will rise and sing again. And if voting makes you sick, well, no one's forcing you to drink again.
I didn't have to wait for long. I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm. Smile when you say I'm wrong. I can't even fade the song. Can't fake while you play the charms. And I don't know the page you're on, but this is where you say you're wrong.
This is where you finally admit you weren't ignorant. You boldly voted Joe like an informed and blissful idiot. You chose to blur the parts of Biden you don't find the prettiest. Now you choose uplifting news and filter out the grittiest. But the truth is something coarse enough that even when it's hidden, it's apparent when you feel it on your fingertips. I know it's hard to deal with from a distance, and up close the truth is hideous. But there's just no getting rid of it. You've gotta let it in, or it just worries at your skin at every moment, loud or intimate. But shake it off, for fuck's sakes. You don't have to celebrate or be so proud of progress by imaginary increments. You don't have to heap such constant praise on fucking villains, like they're stillborn promises or honestly just isolated incidents, and not the product of the principle of privilege. Not intentional eugenics just by any other synonym, covered up with desperate clusterfucks of rosy images, labeled plain by any other name except for what the fucking image is. So once you stare the page down enough, you'll spot the difference. That one is red and one is blue, and that's the only truth, because neither one delivers on that promise of deliverance. One is red and one is blue, and that's the only difference. And the rest are isolated and imaginary incidents. One is red, one is blue, and that's the only difference.
I didn't have to wait for long. I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm. Smile